But because my father had HIV and died with liver failure and had no money, nigga, that's the best you could do. At that moment, my hands are shaking because I could feel, I still feel that emotion in my body because that was one of the hardest moments of my life. And I was just young enough that I didn't give a fuck. And I was like, you know what? I'm going for it. And I went for it. And thank God I did. And once you go for it, you start realizing it ain't really hard to be successful. The hard part is changing who you are to be successful.
That's right.
Why ain't I see you around back when I was down?
This is why I'm like, I even like this podcast, because we don't understand how important our father is. You don't even know how special this is for you, that you're you got thousands of hours with you and your dad talking, right? My father just dies, right? And I don't have none of these things, none of it. And Delta called me back to work. And I remember calling my mom, Delta told me to come back to work. And my mother's like, well, you might as well go. You don't have no talent. You wasn't gonna make it in the music industry.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? You're right. Think about that. A parent tells you that.
Heavy.
So
yeah.
that's why that's why when you, even if you didn't meet me, you see me talking, you felt it, because it's not, I'm fake. I'm not fake. I'm coming from a real place. This is actually my life. That same mother I take care of.
Wow.
Lives in a big house because of me. I pay every bill.
Wow.
That told me I wasn't gonna be anything. But anyway, I go back to Delta, so I'm working. I never forget this. This was the most life-changing moment for me in my entire life. I look at the sun and I'm like, for some reason, I feel like my dad is shining on me. My dad just died a month ago. I'm like, at least something's shining on me. And I remember thinking like, man, Ray, what if Bill Cosby was your dad? Where do you think you'll be working at now? And I was like, damn, if Bill Cosby was my dad and I worked at Delta, everybody would be like, what the hell are you doing here? Your father is Bill Cosby. But because my father had HIV and died with liver failure and had no money, nigga, that's the best you could do. At that moment, my hands are shaking because I could feel, I still feel that emotion in my body because that was one of the hardest moments of my life. And I was just young enough that I didn't give a fuck. And I was like, you know what? I'm going for it. And I went for it. And thank God I did. And once you go for it, you start realizing it ain't really hard to be successful. The hard part is changing who you are to be successful.
That's right.
The hard part is figuring out what makes you work for the world. Like I said, in school, I was a dumbass because I talked all day. But as a manager, I'm a millionaire.
Yeah.
Because I talk all day.
Yeah.
Right. See what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So then it becomes, so for me, when I see a young black kid looking, I'm like, look at me, don't look at them.
Yeah.
Because if they telling you anything like they told me, don't listen to them. You can do it, but you got to believe, and it's not hard. So once I became successful and I started winning, then here's the crazy part. I always felt like I was what's the word? What they call that when you feel like imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
So for like the first 13, 14 years of my life, maybe 10 of business, music, I felt like an imposter. But the one thing that made that great was that in being an imposter, I didn't want to be one. I'm a Virgo. We can't be fake.
Yeah.
Virgos can't fake nothing. If you got a Virgo, you know exactly what
mother's
it
a
is.
Virgo.
My wife is a Virgo, her mother.
You know Virgos can't be fake.
Yeah,
You already
that's
know.
right.
That's why you smile, right?
Yeah.
So I'm a Virgo. I can't be fake.
Yeah.
So I can't imagine walking in the room acting like I know what's going on and I don't. So I started learning the business.
That's right.
I saw it. I mean, it was times where there were moments where I should have went for a big deal. I went for a mentor. And in that mentor deal, it might have made me feel small, but it didn't I wasn't looking at it like that. I remember working for LA Reid. I was telling, my card said intern. Like I would tell people I'm an intern. They was like, well, I'm vice president. What the hell does my title matter? If I tell myself I'm an intern, I'm gonna move like an intern. I'm gonna hustle like an intern. And that's why every time I was around LA, I learned something. And that's why I know everything I know now. But I really said, I'm going to college to learn this.
Yeah.
And it was working for LA. It was like, that was my school.
Yeah.
And once I figured out that none of my peers knew the shit I knew, somebody put a camera on me. Let's talk.
Hey, real quick, I want to drag it back a little bit
Please.
because I didn't know you mentioning your dad dying from HIV.
He died from liver failure, but he had HIV.
I'm sorry from
sure.
liver failure, but so I've lost a parent too.
Yeah.
My
it
dog,
changes.
It does.
Nothing wakes you
Right.
up in the world, slaps you in the face harder than a parent dying.
That's a fact.
Because those are the only two people in the world that want better for you than they want for themselves. Your uncle might want what's better for you, but not.
Right.
So you're right. I'm glad you said
that's
that.
okay. I just
connect.
wanted to. So, and pardon me if I'm
ask anything, bro.
Yeah, if I'm overstepping. How did your dad contract HIV?
He told me some lady. My dad was never like the heavy guy. Like he had HIV, but it wasn't like he had HIV.
Right.
Like my dad was like, man, right, man, this girl, man, she was. I know I got it from her. I had
Okay.
good. So he was like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we did talk about, but this is
Okay.
like. He had it since I was like 13, 14, but we didn't talk about it until I was like 21,
Gotcha.
like maybe a few months before he died, where he was just like, he just laid it out for me. And I was like,
Wow.
okay, that's why I be having them crazy thoughts that I be having about women having a good time. I
Say
felt
the
alone
apple-
in my head. I'm
the
like,
apple don't fall
it don't
far.
fall too far from the tree. So I was like, okay, yes, I needed that to know that, Daddy. Thank you.
But once your father passed away, so how did that affect you?
Oh,
You know,
man.
what way?
My father-
Did you go into a deep depression? How did you deal
No.
with that?
When you poor, you can't afford to be depressed.
Mm.
That's what they don't tell you.
Mm.
Even if you are depressed,
Mhm.
get your ass up and go
You still
do something.
gotta, yes.
You can't afford
Yeah,
to be
that's a
depressed.
fact. That's a fact.
So I only know that I was depressed and I only know that I was stressed because I had a stroke. And I had this thing called Bell's palsy,
Yes.
where
Yeah.
the left side of my
Paralyzes.
face was
Yeah,
paralyzed
yeah,
for
yeah.
like a month and a half.
Wow.
And it was right after my father died. So here's the story. I'm glad you brought that up. No one asked me that. Here's the importance of my father dying. And I hate to tell a story because it's kind of embarrassing, but it's really my story.
Mm-hmm.
So my entire life, I don't know how much money it is, but my entire life, my mother and my father would tell me that your dad has an insurance policy for you.
Mhm.
So I heard that up until the day he died. He has insurance policy. If he'd be like, I got HIV, but I'm good, son. If anything happened, I got this insurance policy, you're gonna be good. So when he died, I remember everybody around me was like, of course we was sad that he died, but some people like, yo, but you got that insurance coming. And I'm being honest with you. I know God is real because I didn't want it.
Mm.
I did not. It's weird. I did not want money from my father dying. And the way it worked,
Mhm.
he was sick. So he was in the hospital for a minute, but he didn't pay it in time and it lapsed. And I remember, my mother was like, your dad died, you have insurance, so you're gonna be fine. And everybody's trying to prepare you for this. And none of it came. And everything that I am today is because of who my father was.
Mm.
Everything that I am, I am who I am right now because I'm honoring my kids right now. That's right. Every minute of my life is honoring my children because I used to lie about my dad, Court.
Really?
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I used to be like, man, my dad be in New York handling business. My dad be flying me places. He never did that. But when you're a kid, you really want people to know you come from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, after my dad died, I was like, I know I'm gonna have kids one day, and I know my kids gonna be bragging. I know so, and this is 22. Just when a parent dies, it becomes real, right?
That's a fact.
So now I have to look at the world, and I remember thinking like, damn, man, like when my son or my daughter is born, and they sitting on a schoolyard, and they bragging to their parents about their father, and that girl is like, my dad, and my son is like, but hey, let me tell you about mine now.
Yeah.
And I want to be that.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to me to be that. Like he's Superman to you, right? So that's my point. When you're a father, you're a Superman to your kids. I couldn't imagine not being super because I didn't realize my father wasn't Superman until he died. But by that time, it was over.
Right.
And I was like, and I never forget. I'm like, when I go, because we had the same name.
Yeah.
When I go, it's gonna mean something. I swear to God, it's gonna mean something. I'm not gonna die broke. I'm not gonna die. And when death is hard, because you understand it's when. It's like life is a marathon. We all just walking, right? Then somebody dies that you love. It's like boom. Now people walking around, you trying to, but then you really got to eventually leave them there and keep walking.
Mm-hmm.
Go on. Like, that's hard,
It's
bro.
hard.
And it's like, but you got to honor them. So that's why I'm like, I'm gonna keep walking, Dad.
Yeah.
But I promise you, the name Ray Daniels.
It's funny you said that because if you remember when my mother passed away. We were at the cemetery.
Yeah.
And it was so hard for me to leave at the funeral.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I was leaving
her.
Yeah.
You got to go back to living.
It was super tough.
Bruh,
it was super tough.
I remember being at my father's funeral, and I remember I was so mad. I wasn't hurt. I was mad. I hated everybody there. I hated them all because I knew they didn't love him like I did. Except for my sister and my brother who was going crazy. But the rest of them, it's like they didn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm a Virgo. You know your wife. We hold grudges. You think elephants don't forget? Do something to us on February 17th, 1997. I'm gonna remember that, and I'm gonna get you back. So I always remember how people looked at me, how people felt.